So I said that I would do a video on some of the stuff that I built for my flight sim. Well, the 3 panels that I built, and I didn't really give each panel its proper, I guess, introduction and like explanation on how I built it and what it's for and everything. So I guess this is me doing that. But without further ado, let's get started. So this one is basically a number pad and a landing gear lever. So I added these extra switches just in case I needed to use some more extra switches, and I didn't just want it to be just this one thing. I wanted both of these, this panel and this one, to be the exact same size. So I made them the same size and just added some extra switches just for whatever. So, but as for the landing gear lever, all it is just a 3D printed part from Thingiverse, and yeah. The board is a Leo Bodnard board, a BU0836. I'm planning on doing another build basic with this with that board, but it's going to be for a collective. In the future, I'll do a video about that, but for now, I'm still kind of in the planning phase. I'm really going towards aluminum extrusion, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So for the time being, I'm just still kind of in the planning phase, but really pushing towards aluminum extrusion. As far as the handle, I'm still thinking about that one, how I'm going to do that, but yeah. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So I actually have another piece over here that I printed just for this occasion, so you guys can see exactly what it is. So if you can see it here, so as you can see, the 2 holes right here, they're supposed to line up, and so when you pull it out, that's the only way. You can't just push it down. You have to pull it and then drop it, and then when you drop it, it goes back in and locks. Same thing with this one. It's the exact same build, except these right here, I have toggle switches right here, so whenever one side is being, let me just show you a quick close-up. So yeah, they're wired together, and whenever one is toggled, the other one will be, they act as one switch, even though they're 2 different ones. They're wired together so that whenever one of these switches press down, they both act as a button. So I wired it so that it acts as even though there's 2, they act as one button. And this is so you gotta pull, push down, and then drop. Really, with this one, you can just kind of pull it and just kind of push it down. You do have to pull it and then push it up to let it go up, but yeah. The buttons themselves are just simple toggle buttons. I'll put in the description. I got them off Amazon. They were blue. You can kind of see it right there. It's kind of blue, but I just spray painted it matte black, and that's what makes it look cool like this. So. I am having some troubles with my 3D printer. It's doing some weird stuff. I had some better success with this one, although you can kind of see it's still kind of messing up a little bit. But on both sides, it does look like a handle, and it doesn't look like this on one side. But I was kind of anxious to get it all put together, so didn't really care about it too much. But this one is another one that I'm going to be using for something else in the future. If you're wondering, these are 3D printed A320 levers that I bought from eBay to kind of get a feel for what this stuff looks like. Yeah, I was using it on a Cytec throttle quadrant, but then I just kind of let that go and started working on something else. I started working on these, so. But this is basically the landing gear and keyboard panel, my keypad panel. So I have yet to test this out, and everything works. All the buttons and functions work as normal. I just have to, get a feel for it in like Flight Sim or DCS or some other stuff. Onto this one. So this one is a copy of a panel off of WinWing. I'm not sure what it was, but it basically, I was going to buy one, but it cost way too much, and not only that, the shipping times were astronomical. It was just unreal. So I just decided I'm just gonna make a panel of a rough size of what it looks like, and I just kind of just made my own panel, exact same one. Well, it's tweaked a little bit. This button isn't here. These aren't there at all either. These are rotary encoders with the push button activated as well, so I can push down and select with these. No need to press enter or anything, so when I just twist them. If you're wondering what rotary encoders, I got them off of DigiKey. They are magnificent rotary encoders. I would definitely suggest buying these if you guys are into building flight stuff for your flight sim. They're just magnificent. They work with all Leo Bodnar boards, and they're basically like compatible with everything else. They're just perfect. I would definitely suggest picking at least about 10 of them up in like for future projects or anything else. So, but yeah, these toggle switches look a little bit old. So these toggle switches are actually pretty old. I took these out of my my first generation right side panel or universal panel that I made previously on the channel. I'll link to that. And basically what happened is I kind of grew out of it. It got a little, it wasn't as real as I wanted to be, and it was really flexible, which I didn't like. And I took all the switches and stuff out of it and decommissioned it. And basically, these were the boards that I was using for it. So these joystick boards is what I was using, and they work fine. They're not something that I would definitely they work fine in a sense of what they do, but I would recommend something more like this. If you have the money, I'd recommend buy from Leo Bodnar website, and they're definitely worth it. You can hook up rotary encoders and program them to do different things with that. Just board is just plug and play. Like, you plug the switch in, and with the rotary encoders, you have to set these to a specific setting in the programming software. You have to set them, and then it saves it to the board. So you wouldn't be able to do this with that. So that's why I would definitely recommend buying Leo board, or if you're froggy enough, I would pick up a Mega 2560. I'm doing a project with this in the near future. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is the backside of it. It looks really crazy right now because a lot of it just looks crazy. I do want to put a case on it, like a finish, like put the case all together and cover it up and everything. But that's gonna take some time. But overall, this is the panel. There's just simple toggle switches or momentary buttons, toggle switches, rotary encoders. These are for autopilot, so altitude, your altitude, vertical speed, the ND or NU. ND is nose down, NU is nose up. The heading, these are actually 3D printed. I 3D printed these knobs and put them onto the rotary encoders themselves, so it looks a little bit more professional. And added some, what is it? That looks like it's a silver and black spray paint. So I previously painted it silver, and then I just slightly sprayed over it with a black matte spray paint to give it a kind of a worn look, if it does look like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it with this panel. So let's move on to the last and final panel, which is the one that is my favorite, the universal panel. So this one, there's one change that I made to this recently. It was this switch right here. So this switch was set up to bypass. Normally when I don't have anything to set a specific switch up to, I would usually set it up to either it would be normal. So the normal would be the up position, or in down position. It would be either normal or bypass. But then I figured out, I was like, I forgot one switch, and that is the external power switch. That is going to be very useful in DCS or other programs and such. I was also thinking about taking these switches out and replacing them with replacing them with circuit breakers, actual aircraft circuit breakers, so that you push and pull circuit breakers, and then also drill more holes to get more space in it, and then I'll have some more of these switches to use, and also I'll have this as well. I have a little small circuit breaker area over here, but I was also thinking maybe not, and just keep it like this. But yeah, the panel itself, it's somewhat enclosed. Let me turn on its other side. So you can actually see under it. There's quite a bit of space. There's quite a bit of space under here. I did wanted to make it a little bit smaller, not so much area, but I was thinking maybe it does need some airflow. I do want to put a little small fan in here, like a Noctua fan, just to keep the air flow and everything. But yeah, for this one, it's using another Leo Bodnard board. If I can get the name, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says it's a BBI 64 board, and it has 64 switches. In Windows, it does not recognize the 64 beyond 32 switches. It does not mean that it's not there. The switches are there. It's just that Windows isn't recognizing it because it only recognizes 32. So the switches are there. The computer's recognizing the switch being flipped. It's just Windows doesn't see it. It's the same thing with, like, if someone was touching you, but you couldn't see them. They're still there. They're still touching you. You just can't see them. That's all it is. Same thing with the board. So these switches, a lot of the old ones, you can see they're kind of like brownish or like kind of worn. They're from, these are the ones that I've had from my old panel. The more silver ones, they're from DigiKey as well. I'm going to be replacing, I want to replace this ATM pump switch with a pull action switch that's coming in. It should be coming in probably tomorrow or the day after. But I am going to be replacing these switches right here, these EEC switches, with the electronic engine control switches with pull switches. So you can't just push it forward, you have to pull it up. It's a spring loaded.